Well, back to China, though. I mean, in the case of cheating, is it not a fact that China does cheat, right? I mean, they cheat in a number of ways. Whether we talk about intellectual property theft, whether we talk about protectionism or subsidies, these kinds of things. And if they do cheat, if you agree that they do cheat, is that a failure of policy, or is it that or enforcement, or is it just the fact that we're never going to be able to stem the flow? There's always going to be some way that they can exploit the holes in our system.
No, look, I think they do cheat, and sometimes we use cheating sort of an elastic term. Sometimes it's literally intellectual property theft, breaking the law to steal something. Sometimes cheating is government subsidy. Sometimes those are legal, sometimes they're not. But we do also have anti-dumping, countervailing duty procedures in the U.S. to push back against that. Technically not cheating, but we'd say non-standard business practice, whatever you want to call it. But I guess my point is, look, there's going to be a bad actor out there in the world doing something bad, and you need to have defensive mechanisms against those particular bad behavior. But the single best way to deal with bad news is to generate good news. And if you say my goal is to spend my life litigating bad news, that is 100% defensive strategy, 100% stick strategy, no carrot. So I'd say we definitely should push back against bad news, push back against cheating. But why don't we come up with an affirmative strategy for improving trade in any event? For example, to put all this together, China's got this massive EV program going, electric vehicle program, where they have the least expensive large-scale EV car in the world. So it's a considerable challenge, or even a threat, you could say, to the U.S. and to Europe. I would say, boy, why don't we have a U.S.-Europe EV pact where we have free trade electric vehicles, so both Europe and the U.S. get advantages of free trade in electric vehicles, get advantages of scale. Neither of us are really competing on price, competing on labor cost. We're both competing in our own markets, but we want access to the other markets as well. Why don't we get that going, and we'll at least have some defensive mechanisms to push back against China's strength and China's sometimes predatory practices.